Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to the Kingdom, episode 12. So last time we did a strip mine. I've been getting lots of diamonds from that and smooth stone, most importantly. So smooth stone's been going into this here. It's been filling up all the water, no, not just the surface, we're going all the way down, the whole thing of water being replaced with smooth stone, quite a lot of it, and I do need quite a lot more to do the rest. On the sort of overall aim that eventually I'll be able to make some sort of squid farm in this spawn chunk without needing to sort of make it somewhere else. Could be really nice to do. Also, I've been using glowstone everywhere. You see all this glowstone around. Looks a bit derpy from up here. There's glowstone pretty much everywhere. This so that I'm going to be lighting up the whole of these spawn chunks because I've been having annoyance from mobs and I don't really want mobs around, and this is going to be a way to stop that from happening. And it's not going to look like this in the end. I'm going to use carpet on top of this so the light can go through the carpet and it will look completely fine. I could do some sort of pattern with it, but I do need things like dyes for the wall and such so that I can do a really nice pattern, just something different than just white wall. But I have been collecting up a lot of wool, as you can see in here. I've got 1 chest, 2 chest, 3 chest, 4 chest and a bit chest. So yeah, I need quite a lot more wool than that. I think it's about 580 stacks of wool. Yeah, so that's still quite a bit more that I need to get. But getting it from my spider spawners has been quite quick, but still I need to spend maybe 30 more hours AFKing there to get the rest. It'll come in time. But today I want to start getting things ready for my storage system. I have gone and designed one, a sort of prototype anyway, and I do need a lot of wood for it, and I'm kind of sick of using a little tree farm over there and just cutting down trees in general. So I really want to move on and do 2 things. I don't know if I get all done today, but I'll start 2 things. I'll do my hostile mob farm, which I don't particularly need a hostile mob farm for actual drops, so that I don't need a gunpowder factory from creepers and such, because I get so much through my witch farm anyway. I don't really need any more. Zombie flesh, I don't need zombie flesh at all. I don't need an experience grinder at all because I have my Enderman Farm. I might want the arrows, maybe. I don't really use bows though, not in this single player. But I might want the bones as well. So the bones could be good from a hostile mob farm. Doesn't need to be massive then, if I need a few bones for farming. And I'll try and join this up together with a wood farm to make an automatic mob system with a wood farm to automatically collect the wood and sort of explode the wood with creepers. And we want to do that since the first episode. Been really looking forward to doing that. Now we are on 1.6 now, we're in the pre-release. So I'll just say first of all, in principle, I only do things in my Let's Play which I think are not going to degrade the game for myself. People that say do a wood farm in the end with the actual wither, for me that degrades the game. It's a sort of bug abuse. I don't even know if it even works in 1.6. Hopefully it doesn't. But anyway, that is my stance on that. Do what you want. This is how I'm going to do it for myself. So wood farm with creepers, that's what I want. So I'm going to start by building up some of the hostile mob system. Now it's going to be up in the sky where that platform is up there. That's why I built it up there in the first place, so that when I'm up there the witch farm isn't loaded up, so the mobs aren't going to spawn in the witch farm itself. So they're all spawn up there in the mob system, so just keep it separate. And then all the items I need to have a hopper shoot all the way down here somewhere, all the way from the top, so that items can come from that tree farm or anything else, come all the way down to a sorting system down here. If you haven't seen that video on my sorting system sort of test, then I'll link it in the description. You can have a look. It's going to be quite big. Should look really impressive. So I'm going to go on now and start planning out some sort of hostile mob system. I haven't actually designed anything creative or anything, so it should be a nice way of having some fun on the way. So yeah, I'll be back to you after some progress. Okay, you have to die. There you go. So I've done a load of work here. I've got a nice platform out next to the portal. Moment we're on about y equals 200-ish. I went up top and made a replica shaped thing as this, up there with glass. Basically just to get rid of the rain, so that rain won't actually come through to here. It'll go around the sides, but hopefully it'll be a little bit less annoying. Just a bit. So I'm trying to think of where to put the hostile mob spawner and then where to put the tree farm itself, because over there we like to get to the iron farm along that strip, along the bit of glass there. So I can't do something really big to go over there because it would obstruct that light. So I've got to think, kind of plan where it's going to go. So wherever we're going to put it, it's going to make some nice darkness underneath this, same as this platform here is doing down there as well. That's why I'm lighting up everything with glowstone, just to make sure that everything is spawn proof, even with structures up here as well. So I think I'm going to do it over this side maybe, and I've got to do it so that, now that's the maximum build height of 255, the actual block you can actually place things on, and when you're standing there. So that's the maximum. Now I've got to drop the mobs down, and I want quite a few layers of mob spawning, not a huge amount, not a proper mob spawner type thing, just enough to get some creepers through. So maybe 10 floors of spawning pads. I'm going to do the same design as I did for my last gold farm, my previous world, not the current one. Probably easy to do that and get rid of Enderman and spiders that way. Probably come down here. It's about 20 blocks from the roof. It's going to have spawning pads, and then it's going to have a sort of a water chute somewhere, and then they all fall down again, get enough damage, and then go into the sort of bit for the tree farm. So I guess we kind of have enough space if we do 20 blocks to top, that's 235, and then we get another about 30 blocks dropping from to get to some sort of tree farm. So I'm going to make sure the farm is, the actual mob spawner is 24 blocks or more away from the outside of the circle, so that wherever I am, either here or up the top at the same spot, the mobs will still spawn in the system and not stop spawning because I'm too close. So I'm going to do that and just mark it out quickly, and then I'll be back with you for an update. Okay, so I haven't spent actually a whole day designing a tree farm to work for this, but now it's starting raining, so it's rain here, and no rain here. So yeah, that works. I will make the canopy even bigger in future, but yeah, that does make a big difference, doesn't it? I thought I'd just show you that very quickly. So I've planned out where I'm going to have my tree farm. I want 2 modes to the tree farm. Using creepers, as it's an explosion, you lose most of the blocks, so I think you only get like 20% or 30% of the blocks back. So creeper farm is incredibly inefficient to actually get wood broken into items to be collected. So this can have 2 modes to the tree farm. It's going to go either to a creeper farm, and the actual hostile mob spawner will be producing bone meal for the tree farm as well, so it's going to be dual use. And then when I want to do AFK, just completely automatic, I'll sit there and just press F10, keep placing trees, and then creepers will come down and blow up stuff on this side. Otherwise I have it set to just automatic or sort of manual farming. So I'll sit there AFK, just placing trees for a few minutes. It only takes a few minutes, and then I'll have this side over here, which will be a wood storage facility. So I can just come over here and just cut it all down really quickly. I've got some axes around. Actually went and got a went and made myself an axe in there. So I'm making efficiency 5 and just go there and just plough through them. I don't know if haste actually works for axes. I can sit there and just get a whole load of wood straight away from that if I want to, or I can use a creeper. So I'm going to have some sort of toggle at the back when they come out the back of the tree farm, either to go to storage or go to creepers. So I haven't done the creeper bit yet because I've gone and planned out all of this bit so this works. I've gone down in creative world, and it's really awkward because you've got to backwards engineer this so that this is where the trees come from, but then to get the place where the actual creepers blow up at has to be really quite particular to get the wood out of this in the correct way, to get into a sort of area that the creepers can explode them, and then you can collect them. And then behind that you got to then work out a way to get creepers down one by one, and then behind that you got to get a mob farm to actually sort the mobs out and kill the other ones, and then you got to go to the actual pads. So I kind of was thinking about it the wrong way to begin with, and it's definitely easiest to do the tree farm first and then work backwards, and then work kind of how the tree can get the wood to a place where the creepers can explode, and then work backwards from that. I think it'd be the most easiest way to do this efficiently. So I decided I'm going to go and build this tree farm bit first, get that up and running today at least, and then work backwards. So I'm going to now go and start building the first bits of the tree farm. So this is the actual part we're going to grow the trees in, this collection area, and below this is the piston array to move the piston or all the tree around. We'll show you that very quickly soon. So I'll start building the tree farm bit, and I'm back with you with some progress. Okay, so this design is based a little bit on Panda 4994's design for a tree farm, which is very similar to most tree farms that are built these days. I went through a lot of different designs, picked out how they worked, absorbed everything for them, and thought of how to improve them. So I've got an extra load of things to add to this farm, and the principle just works that if you have a tree planted here, if there is nothing apart from wood or see-through blocks in a 3x3 area around, then it can grow quite quickly. Now some farms use the fact that they have pistons maybe one block away, so a block of air and then a block of pistons. That does lower rates a bit, so when you're actually trying to use the bone meal, you use more bone meal to get it to actually grow instead of just normal. So this design just gives a double extending piston so that you get 2 blocks of air either side. So there's a 3x3 area around, more than 1 block high, so that the tree can spawn quite quickly. It doesn't see these as blocks that are going to interfere, and neither does these blocks here. So anything using any sort of redstone signal extender or moving the redstone signal to pistons through wood works, because this wood is not seen as a interfering block. So all I'm going to do is stand here, and I want this tripwire here to activate the whole farm. So if I'm standing here, it will turn everything on and start firing bone meal. If I'm not standing on this, it will stop. So that'd be really nice to not have some sort of place to turn on and off all the time. Just stand here and it'll be on. Then I'm going to turn this tree on, and dispenser will do that. And then this double extending piston here, just using the fact that you can power into that with a going upwards half sub stream. And then as you power the top one, the bottom one gets powered as well, just by a bud action. And also up here, the other extender goes up as well, and the back one goes after. Just makes that this, pushes it across. So the tree is now here instead of where it was, and then you get this pull back again, and you get a space. So basically this pushes the tree all the way at the back into this bit here, and then it will be moved either way. So that's the principle so far. Now, for any sort of tree farm, I've done all testing before. No, I did that in my last Let's Play. Most of you probably haven't seen that, but I have. When you do a tree farm, to make an efficient one, you need to get back at least 1 sapling per tree, and you don't need more than that. But if you want to get things like apples, the more sort of leaves you break per tree, the better, because you get more chance of actually getting those drops. So as long as you do more than 20, you always get back at least 1 sapling statistically, because the drop is 1 in 20 chance of getting a sapling from a leaf block. So that's just the principle on that. So if you have 1 a go, then you should have a sustainable system. On the design I've made, I actually get quite a few more than that, just so I can get more apples basically, because I want apples for my golden apples, because they're awesome and I like them. So I'm getting lots of them from this farm as well. So that's the first bit done. Now I'm just going to go and build in the circuitry to make this automatic and put in the droppers and things for the wood. So I'm going to show you that afterwards when it's automatic, and then we're putting the leaf crushers afterwards. So back in a sec. Okay, tree farm is now automatic already without the leaf crushers. So bone meal goes into here, has to be bone meal though. And it goes into the bottom of that. Now the wiring is pretty simple when it comes down to it. It's basically just a little bud underneath the actual earth block, and it just moves the pulse across, and then this whole thing pushes because of that. Now I added in here a way to keep this automatic, so that only when I'm standing here will it actually go on, and then I'll just sit there and plant a tree, just like so, and it'll go off. And as soon as I walk away, it will stop. There you are. Awesome. Now for the leaves, as you can see, the ones at the end, they only happen once, because once the leaves are formed onto here and the extra trees go through it, they'll never get formed there again unless I break all this wood. So you're looking at all the leaves you can possibly get to be broken. So everything underneath the actual purple carpet are hoppers, so that they can take any of the trees, saplings or apples back to little hopper here in a dispenser underneath that. So there will be a way to collect saplings back and also apples, so that is the idea of that. And that's basically a hopper chain all the way around feeding into that bit down there. So that's about it for that really. Yeah, I'll get on and do the piston crusher then for the leaves, and I'll be back when that one's done. Okay, so the leaf crusher is now in. We'll go have a little look from the top first. So basically all this does is send a whole shaft of pistons on each side inwards. So it's going to move all these blocks around here. So this side is a little grid, and then we've got these 2 rows on the end which I've added, which increase the leaf breakage. These ones are the same as normal, and then I've got this one here as well. So this does every single leaf block around the edge apart from this one here and obviously that one there, which is the pushing block. So yeah, it gets quite a lot of it through. So yeah, let's go see this in action then and get a few out. Let's get around here. We'll just take this out. Simple, simple. There we are. So if I stand here, just hold down my click, through it goes, through it goes. Some of them take a bit longer than others, and it comes out the back. Very good. And we're going to look at the top again. So yeah, there's actually some extra saplings laying around. They're going through a dispenser on the bottom. I need to make it so that they come through to somewhere else as well, because I will be getting a lot of them through, including apples. There we are. So yeah, it gets rid of all the outside leaves, which is pretty good, apart from this one there. But yeah, high output for saplings back and apples, most importantly. So yeah, that bit's done. Now I'm going to neaten this bit up and start the conveyor belt. Well, I'll do the conveyor belt and neaten this up for the next little clip. So it all go to there into a nice little cage and set up as well. So yeah, I'll be back when this bit is a lot more progressed. Okay, so this is all done now, it seems. Should be working fine. So what happens is the wood comes out the back, and I've got toggleable switch back here. So if I hold this lever, then it's off. So the stuff will go out the back still. It'll keep going in that direction. Now if this is just pressed, it will then connect the circuit and just push this along every time those ones push as well. So we'll keep it in time. There's no need to a sensor here at all. So that's fine. And it's connected just to the wiring coming off of the piston around the side. It's a nice way of putting the signal. So that works fine, and that works on a timer. So let's get a piece of wood there, and we go plant a tree. The rest of it will move to that block there, and not actually get to that, but that block will move across one. Let's get onto here, and through it goes. So there's another block of wood here, we'll just go to that. And that one's across, so that goes across fine. Next thing is they all move to this piston array here. They all move across, move across, move across. They're maximum 6 high on this farm. Normally 5 or 4 though, maximum 6. So eventually they'll come along to here, and as soon as one gets down the bottom, because they get along here, along here, along here, keep going until they get to here. Then they'll push it all across. So that's fine. They're always going to get to the bottom first. That's why the sensor is only down here, because the bottom row, no, the tree's always got to be at least 1 high. It's always going to get to that point. So it gets to there, and they'll get pushed across in a nice grid. And they keep going across, 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 across. Now, as pistons can push up to 12 blocks, they go all the way across here to 12 away. And then they come to this point here. Now, I could have stopped there and just had a nice 12 long, 6 tall grid, and 7 wide. Because it can only be 7 wide because I'm not pushing along here as well, because these can only push 12, so they can only push up to the end of here. So this bit here isn't as wide as it could be. You could do 12 by 12 by 12, but this is only a 12 by 12 by, well, not even a 12 by 12, 12 by 10 by 7 or something. Yeah. So they push along. Now as these can push 12, these ones here are going to push upwards afterwards, so that this is 6 high and they can go up to 12. So this keeps going along and they get to here. Now because of how I was doing some testing on this in Creative, and this doesn't always, it won't make a complete cube at the end at the top, because after a while The random ones at the top will make it so that eventually it will get stuck and won't carry on, but they get more than this space anyway. So when they get to the end, they get to here, and they all move up. That's the basic principle. Now I'm going to sit here and just keep planting this. I'm going to press F10 on the macro key and just keep doing this until it stops, and I'm back to you to show you the result. Okay, so now it's finished, and stop that. The only annoying thing is that when it does finish, this glowstone block gets stuck here, which is a tad annoying, and I said to then break it, because otherwise it sets off the whole thing underneath it still, and it's a bit annoying. But yeah, that only happens when it's completely full, so I could probably think of a way around that. But at the moment, that I'm okay with one glowstone block being broken. Here's what's settled so far. That's okay. There is a gap here though. Yeah, bit of a gap. But I'm going to sit there, I've got nothing on me at the moment wood-wise. I'm going to mine all this, or axe it, whatever you want to say. Lumberjack it all, back to you and see how much is here. Okay, so that's all cleared out now, and there is actually an easy way up. I can sculpt this ladder and jump on top of the thing and just cut it all down. I forgot about that though. And so much have I got? I've got 6 and a bit stacks just from that. So that's not bad, and the whole reason to do this over just sitting there and growing them, some people might say, why is this better than just growing them individually and cutting them down? Well, you can AFK this bit, so it's not really a problem there. But also, growing them and then getting them compacted and then cutting them down is faster than growing them and then cutting them down, growing them and cutting them down, because you can sit here and just mine them all at once and it's fairly quick. So yeah, that's pretty good. 6 and a bit stacks just from that. Pretty happy with that. Now I need about 40 stacks for my storage system, so I'm already well on the way for that. I've got some more in here I've been testing it with, so that's good fun. So that is most of the stuff for today, I think. I do know how I'm going to do the whole explosion thing with the creepers and a farm as well on top of that, and the bit to separate them out and to get one creeper through at once. I've got all of that in mind of how I'm going to do it. It's just getting it to fit in where I want to have it here, because what I'm going to need to do is have a system so that if I'm standing here and having this on, every X many trees that go through and then go through into the system, or when it detects a certain level of wood in the system, I'll then be sent backwards into the system, get a creeper to explode, then I'll come back and plant more. Now I can hold the macro on for that, just the F10 stuff, and it'll keep planting it. I might change this bit here to turn it on. I'll just lever it on that point. Yeah, I'll just use a lever for that point and change a bit here. And just sit in a minecart the whole time. It shouldn't be too hard to do. Just getting the arrangement of the wood into the creepers and then collecting it is a little more confusing to do. So let's give you a final look at the circuitry down here. It's not really that much. Just a little bit there, and then this bit is the whole bit for the piston floor. Now there you are, just pretty easy. So yeah, that is that. So yeah, I will have to sit down and try and work out how to do it in this world on the whole creeper bit, and then do the whole sort of spawning pads behind that. I did start off today thinking I'll do the spawning pads, but it's just worked the other way around today. It's just one of those things. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. Yeah, next time I will get the whole other bit sorted with the creeper bit, and we'll get that working. And the whole point of that is just a bit for fun, really. Or I can AFK or overnight, just with some saplings, and then go back and forth, knowing that I won't die. Probably need a regen beacon up here or something as well, though. I know I won't die. Carry on doing that. Come back in the morning, probably have like a couple of 100 stacks of wood somewhere. A little bit excessive, but it could be some fun. So, hope you've enjoyed today. Been a bit of a learning curve for me. I've had to learn all this and do it. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me, guys. Leave a like if you have enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.